Hey everyone, and welcome to the No DQ live recap of WWE SmackDown for January 24th, 2020. We have the Royal Rumble pay-per-view this coming Sunday live on the WWE Network. This was the go-home show. Did it deliver? Let's find out. Shout out to everybody watching, of course, in the chat room. Whether you're watching live or on demand, I appreciate your viewership. Let's go ahead and get started. SmackDown kicked off. No intro, no pyro. We got straight to action here. We had the six-man tag team match. Roman Reigns, the big dog, teaming up with the Usos to take on King Corbin and Rudolph, Dolph Ziggler, and Bobby Roode. During the match, pretty early on, we had Jimmy Uso selling a knee injury, and then Dolph Ziggler hit the zigzag to Jimmy, sent him into the steps in the post, and the trainers came out. They ended up escorting Jimmy to the back. We had a commercial break, and when we came back, it was the big dog, Roman, and Jey Uso, 2-on-3, continuing the match. King Corbin prevented Roman Reigns from getting a hot tag at one point. We had a second commercial, and then Roman finally got the hot tag. Corbin, of course, escaped. He wanted no part of the big dog, but the numbers game did end up catching up to them. Jey Uso got taken out. It was 3-on-1, and that's when we had Jimmy come back out. He returned. He tagged in. Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin brawled. They fought into the stands. Roman was throwing a trash can at Corbin. And back in the ring, Jimmy hit the frog splash to pin Bobby Roode, picking up a victory for the Usos and the big dog, Roman Reigns. The match, I felt, was filler. It went on way too long, in my opinion. So I wasn't really blown away by this opening match on SmackDown. Did not really do anything to make me more excited about seeing Reigns versus Corbin. And to me, a really good go-home segment would make me more excited. And when this was over, I was just like, that was pretty much how I felt. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, why does WWE waste our time with Dolph Ziggler? They do not want Dolph Ziggler going to AEW, and I think that is a reason right there why we still have Dolph Ziggler as a thing in 2020. He's fine as a wrestler, but yeah, it's hard to really care about the guy when he's had so many start and stop pushes over the years. It's like, why even bother with him? I totally get the sentiment behind that. We had a recap of the Lacey Evans and Bayley storyline and their match from last week's show. We had Michael Cole interview Lacey Evans on the stage. Lacey talked about how she will not be intimidated by bullies. She talked about her father and how he suffered from addiction and depression and ultimately lost his battle. But then she added that it doesn't matter the cards you were dealt, you can still play whatever game you set your mind to. She talked about how she's going to set an example, become the women's champion at the Royal Rumble. She brought up her daughter and how she was crying a few weeks ago, talked about how Bayley and Sasha took advantage of her daughter being at the event, watching the match. And that's when Bayley decided to jump Lacey on the stage and beat the crap out of her. We had a commercial break. When we came back, we had Carmella and Dana Brooke talking about getting ready for the Royal Rumble. Carmella brought up how she won the WrestleMania Battle Royal. She won Money in the Bank, won the women's title. Talked about how Mella is money. Dana Brooke, on the other hand, brought up how, she is the underdog, but everyone has a chance to take a big swing, and it's going to be every woman for herself. She was quickly interrupted by Bayley and Lacey, who were still brawling from the previous segment. Lacey ended up grabbing her shoe and using it as a weapon against Bayley, and they had to be separated by Dana and Carmella as well as some officials and whatnot. We then had a tag team match. Well, what was supposed to be a tag team match. We had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross up against Fire and Desire. There was a little bit of footage shown between Fire and Desire earlier in the evening, and basically Sonya was like, no worries about losing the match last week. Otis should not even have been there in the first place. It should have been one-on-one. The bell rang for the match to start, and pretty much 5 seconds into the match, Lacey Evans and Bayley ran to the ring, and they were fighting some more, and it was a 6-woman brawl, and there was no match. It was thrown out. That was the end of it. How rude of Lacey Evans and Bayley. What an example to set to Lacey's daughter, that you're just going to interrupt people's matches because of your own personal grudges. This was kind of silly in my opinion. Although I will say it could have been worse. They could have turned it into a 6-woman tag team match after the commercial break, which in this case would have at least made a little bit of sense, instead of just having the match interrupted and that's the end of it. So yeah, kind of silly in my opinion. Backstage we had Elias getting ready for a tag team match with Braun Strowman. After the commercial break, we had Elias in the ring. He sang a song about the Royal Rumble, how it's going to start with the Beast, but it's going to end with Elias. He mentioned all the names in the Rumble, well, a good chunk of them. He then wanted a little bit of help with his promo, so he introduced Elias introduced Strowman, and he asked Strowman to help him finish the song. Strowman was about to start singing, and that's when he got interrupted by Cesaro, Sami Zayn, and Shinsuke Nakamura. Nice little heel heat here, I thought, to have Strowman's song interrupted. I was really curious to hear him sing something. Maybe we'll get that another week. We'll have to wait and see on that. We had the tag team match, Cesaro and Shin up against Strowman and Elias. Babyfaces picked up the victory. Cesaro got hit with the running power slam from Strowman, and then Elias hit the flying elbow to score the pinfall victory. Not much to say about it. Basic filler leading into the Rumble. We had Big E backstage with Kofi Kingston. Big E was getting all oiled up, because if he's too greasy, nobody can toss him over the top rope. So that's Big E's strategy for winning the Royal Rumble match. We had a Baron Corbin promo backstage, and he talked about how he is going to embarrass Roman Reigns in the Falls Count Anywhere match, and the handcuffs and dog food will be child's play compared to what he's going to do to Reigns. He said that Reigns will not even be able to make it into the Royal Rumble match. We then had a Sheamus video package, and there was a recap of what he did to Shorty G. Sheamus said that this Sunday he will finish what he started with Shorty G. I really don't care about this match, so it did nothing for me personally. Don't care. Next up, we had John Morrison one-on-one with Kofi Kingston. Miz cut a promo before the match and said he wants to know why the people boo Morrison. Is it because of association with Miz? Miz said that nothing has changed about him. He is the same Miz that he has always been. And he did do a cheap plug for his upcoming season premiere of Miz and Mrs. And then he added that the two of them will officially be entering the Royal Rumble match. Which means I think we only have 3 open spots now for the Rumble, because they were not on the list before. I think we had 25 names for the Rumble, and now, if my math is correct, we have 27 names for the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. So, yeah. I wish WWE would have kept more open spots and had some surprises. I mean, now it just, you literally can only have 3 guys that can come out as surprises, whether it's Edge or Cain Velasquez or Santino Marella or Hornswoggle, which I'm feeling like 2 of the surprises are going to be something really disappointing. I hope that's not the case, but man, it just takes away, like, part of the fun of the Royal Rumble is having those mystery entrants and having legends come back and people you're not expecting in the Royal Rumble. So yeah, I'm a little let down that we don't have more open spots for the Men's Rumble. Women's one is wide open. Like, they only announced 5 people, and I don't think they added any more names. Maybe they did a few, but they still have a ton of names. Most of the names for the Women's Rumble have not been announced. That opens the door for a lot of potential surprises in the Women's Rumble. Anyways, we had the match. Morrison and Kofi. Good stuff from these guys. Morrison countered the tip, Trouble in Paradise, got a near fall. He used a thumb to the eye when the referee wasn't looking, did the Spanish fly, got another near fall. He just could not put Kofi away. And then you had Morrison attempt to cheat by putting his feet on the ropes. Big E stopped him, and that's when the Miz attacked Big E. Miz ran to the other side, got on the apron. Kofi hit the tip to Miz, and that was Morrison's opportunity to take advantage. He went to the top, and he hit the Starship Pain to pick up the victory over Kofi Kingston. So 2 weeks in a row, we have John Morrison picking up a victory over the New Day members in singles competition. Morrison building up that so important momentum for the upcoming Royal Rumble pay-per-view event. And then we had our final segment of the evening, which was contract signing. Yep. Only 1 month into the new decade, and we have 2 contract signings. 2 for the same exact pay-per-view. I mean, come on now. Come on! To quote Shinsuke Nakamura, or Shin, as Michael Cole might say. So we had this contract signing. Daniel Bryan was out there, but no Bray Wyatt. Instead, Bray appeared on the Firefly Funhouse, and he was messing with this printer or fax machine, whatever it was, trying to send the contract over to Bryan. Bryan was like, I know your games. You're just trying to mess around. Come on down here. Bray said that his attorney, Mercy the Buzzard, advised him to not come down there. And then Bray added that, well, the person signing the contract is not him, but rather the Fiend. And that's when the lights went out. The Fiend popped up in the ring. He attacked Daniel Bryan with the mandible claw, Sister Abigail, and then he whipped Bryan with the strap, because this is, in fact, a leather strap match. Then he started to sit down. He was going to sign the contract, but he actually took the pen and stabbed himself in the hand with the pen, and then he used the blood to sign the contract. The Fiend signed the contract with his own blood. Crowd was chanting, "You have issues." Lights went out again, came back on. The Fiend was gone. Daniel Bryan was there. He was getting up to his feet. Crowd was trying to motivate him, and that's how SmackDown went off the air. Overall, I thought it was a pretty lackluster show, for a go-home especially. I'm going to give it a C. I mean, it was average. Average SmackDown at best, and if you missed it, you really didn't miss much. I can't say there was anything I would say you have to go out of your way to see. Morrison and Kofi was good, but even if you missed that, it's like you really didn't miss much. It's not like you missed an all-time classic or anything. And yeah, the final segment with the contract being signed in blood and the stabbing with the pen, that was kind of cool. But really, that was it. Like, everything else I thought was filler and didn't really do anything to make me more excited for the pay-per-view. Michael Wynn gives the show a C+. The People's WWE Channel with a C+. Harley with a C. CC Drink with a B-. The Game is on 100 with a C. Mike B with a B-. And Matt Helms with a C. Joseph with a B-. And Calvin Bowman brought up how Austin signed the contract in his own blood in '99. Well, I think what happened was Undertaker made Austin sign the contract with Austin's own blood. But yeah, that was an interesting segment. And we haven't really seen something like that since. So I thought that was the highlight of SmackDown, was the signing the contract with the blood. So that was SmackDown, everybody. And tomorrow night, Worlds Collide. I will be doing a live stream after the event. So make sure you guys tune in for that. Please spread the word. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe, click on the notification bell to get updates. Tell a friend, any word of mouth, anybody you know who's a wrestling fan, have them check out the videos. Check out the predictions video for the Royal Rumble if you haven't already. And Sunday night, I'll be back again, I believe with Aaron and Caitlin, to discuss the Royal Rumble. Ken Terminated by Google with a $5 super chat says, Riff, did you get annoyed by another goddamn contract signing? LOL. See ya on Sunday. Yeah, I mean, I'm tired of it. We've already had 2 in 1 month, and for the same pay-per-view on top of that. Like, I challenge WWE to do no more contract signings for the rest of the decade. Please, no more. Figure out something else. Be more creative. This was just a lazy show, in my opinion. The 6-man was too long, and the contract signing, I mean, we've seen it before. I guess the idea was to do the hand thing, so at least that was different. I'll give them credit for that. You know, they're not breaking the table in every contract signing. They're changing it up a little bit. But do we really need 2 for the same pay-per-view? And DJ Whitey with a $2 super chat, thank you for that. He says, remind us all why Brock Lesnar is in the Rumble again. Well, the reason is to make the Royal Rumble more exciting, and if Brock was defending the WWE title, nobody would be a believable challenger. Like, none of us would expect the challenger to beat Brock Lesnar, so why even bother? It's like WWE knows that people expect Brock Lesnar to be champion until WrestleMania. So they felt like, well, let's just throw Brock in the Royal Rumble to shake things up and make it more interesting. And we'll see how it goes. Like I mentioned on the predictions, I think we're going to see Brock go on a rampage. He'll eliminate 5, 6, 7, 8 guys, and then somebody significant will come out and eliminate him. And DJ Whitey with another $2 super chat, thank you for that, says, do you think Andrade versus Aleister Black is money? I could see that being a really interesting match. Maybe Aleister Black wins the title from Andrade. That could be a possibility. Aleister Black picks up the United States Championship. Well, what would you guys rather see? Would you rather see Andrade versus Aleister Black at WrestleMania, or would you rather see Andrade versus Rey Mysterio, where Rey puts his mask on the line and Andrade puts his hair on the line? Rey did an interview, which you can check out over at NoDQ.com, where he talked about this as a possible idea for WrestleMania. So what would you guys like to see? Who should Andrade face at WrestleMania? If it was your call, who would you pick? Let me know in the comments. And again, thank you all for watching the video. Stay tuned to NoDQ.com. And hold on a second. DJ Whitey with one more $2 super chat says, do you think AEW needs a mid-card title? Yeah, I think so. I think that AEW should have another title that the mid-carders can fight over. Right now, you just have the world title and the tag titles and the women's title. I think you can add one more title. Add a mid-card title, make it a TV title, or come up with some new concept, or even do a trios title. You could do that as well. I definitely think they should add at least one more title, but don't go overboard. One more title, and then that's it. And Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, name your favorite Ric Flair match of all time. 92 Rumble is my own personal favorite. I know a lot of people like the Flair Steamboat matches, and those are up there too. The match where he beat Steamboat, the third one, where Flair regained the title and then Terry Funk beat the crap out of him afterwards and put him through a table. That was one of the all-time great Ric Flair matches. Maybe that's my favorite singles match. And of course, the Hogan and Flair match from Bash at the Beach '94 is one of my favorites, just because it's Hogan and Flair, and that was what really put Hogan on the map in WCW and was the beginning of the turning point for the company. So those are the top three. But I mean, Ric Flair had a ton of great matches. So I could talk about Ric Flair matches all day. All right, guys, I'm signing off for tonight. Thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.